Wow. Zoinks. Goodness gracious. Jinkies. We may be in the midst of one of the wackiest moments in internet content creation history. If these reports are accurate, and I can't speak to the authenticity myself, I haven't had my team of analysts really dive into the weeds of it and get down into the meat here, but there are reports that XQC just signed a 2-year, $100 million streaming deal with Kick, and it's not even exclusive to Kick. If that number is accurate, that would make it the 12th largest sports contract ever signed. Now, of course, you'd have to be huffing some very serious glue to try and conflate streaming with professional athletes, but it just goes to show you the value of the contract here and just how many doubloons we're talking. I came into this world as a little baby kicking, screaming, shit in my diapers, and now I'm kicking, screaming, shit in my diapers all over again because I can't believe what we're seeing here. I have been tapped into the mainframe of internet wackiness for over a decade now. I'm like Charles Xavier in this throne here, in Cerebro, just looking at all of the goofiness happening across the web. And I've been doing that for so long, and I could have never foreseen something like this happening. A 9-figure deal for a streamer to stream on a different platform. And not even exclusively, mind you. This is a non-exclusive contract for 2 years, meaning XQC gets to have his cake, eat it too, and fuck the baker. So he can stream on Kick and then still stream on Twitch all the same. He did make a Twitch stream earlier today, kind of to go over the announcement as well as the plan going forward. He's saying he's going to be streaming on Kick quite a bit, obviously, but he can still have the freedom to stream on Twitch when he wants to. I'm going to go ahead and rip the band-aid off and throw a little cold water in the face of all the juicers here that are under the impression he'll probably still be active on Twitch. I don't think he will. He legitimately has no incentive to stream on Twitch. Twitch is a platform that has banned XQC like 5 times. It is also a platform that has no real contracts for top streamers anymore, as well as the lowest sub-revenue split among any streaming platform available. Whereas Kick has the highest sub-revenue split, a 95.5. And I would swear on a stack of Bibles with a high level of confidence that XQC not only has that $100 million for 2 years, but also gets to keep 100% of the sub-revenue he earns, which is 95.5 split. So why the fuck would he stream on Twitch often at all? He'll probably use it as just a booster, a signal booster to get the juicers on Twitch over to Kick, letting them know like, hey, this was a fun stream on Twitch for the last 20 minutes. I'm going to finish the rest on Kick. I'll see you there. Just to, filter viewers over to Kick. That's my guess. But again, I'm just a dumb little fucking caveman here speculating from the armchair. Now, if you ask me, this is bad news for Twitch. This just drove a wooden stake right through the vampire's heart and then shoved garlic in its face. This is a big poach here. Now, I've mentioned this a few times in the past, but Twitch is a very top-heavy site where the top 1% of streamers on the platform account for a very large chunk of the overall watch time on the platform. So when you take the biggest streamer off of the site, you do make an impact on Twitch as a whole, really. And over the last year or so, Twitch has been continuously hurting itself in confusion. It has been making horrible decision after horrible decision over and over and over again, and it's been hemorrhaging users. A lot of streamers have been going elsewhere, whether it's YouTube or Kick or even Rumble some streamers have been going to. It is taking streamers from Twitch and going elsewhere. The 50-50 sub split on Twitch isn't enough to be competitive anymore. The over-reliance on intrusive ads isn't enough to keep small streamers on there because it's ruining the experience for their communities, which makes it hard for them to continue to thrive on the platform, so they go elsewhere like YouTube. Plus, the exclusivity on Twitch makes it hard for streamers to want to stay when they could stream on other platforms not exclusive. So they could do a stream on YouTube and then a stream on Kick or, this and that. Twitch has just been a platform that has been struggling to maintain its, dominance on the streaming space because it's been constantly losing its footing through bad decisions. Now, yesterday, Twitch did announce that it's taking the tiniest little baby step in the right direction. They announced that they're offering the Partner Plus program where if you reach a certain threshold, which is like 350 reoccurring subs, so not gift subs or anything, that's tier 1s, 2s, and 3s. If you reach that threshold, you unlock 70-30 sub split for a year. And that's like the tiniest little step in the right direction, them walking back their hardline stance on only 50-50 forever, no more 70-30. They must be starting to panic and realizing that streamers have other options. But this covers up to 100K, then goes back to 50/50, and it only lasts for a year if you don't maintain, I believe. So it's also very strict. 350 reoccurring paid subs, no gift subs or anything like that, is not an easy number to hit. That is a lot. That is a ton. So this isn't exactly super helpful for smaller streamers. And even a lot of medium streamers don't have that level of sub engagement. That's still a ton. So it really is, once again, just like the smallest boost for the bigger streamers on the platform, only up to a certain level. It's not amazing. Like, this is like the weakest possible implementation of a decent idea you could do. Like, it is, like I said, a very, very small baby step in the right direction of a good change. Twitch is a victim of its own hubris here. It got complacent at the top and it got greedy. So it is crumbling its own empire from its greed. That's why all of these other streaming platforms are growing so quickly, and why so many people are abandoning the sinking ship of Twitch. That's just the reality of it. They are out of touch. They lost direction on what to do with the platform, so they just keep rolling out bad choices. And even when they do have a good idea, they're too afraid to actually just commit to a good idea. So yeah, it's very frustrating. Now, I've seen the obvious comparison being drawn with Mixer, because you might remember Mixer actually was able to steal away Ninja from Twitch back when Mixer still existed. And I'm sure all of you have forgotten that name. That's like an ancient relic on the internet, even though it hasn't been that long in the grand scheme of things. But it died so quickly and with such like a sad wet fart of a swan song that most people have forgotten it ever even existed. Mixer stole Ninja. They paid a ton of money. They shelled out many clams to get Ninja, as well as Shroud and King Athalion, but Ninja was the #1 streamer on Twitch, and Mixer got him. And it didn't work for them. The site still inevitably crumbled, and it never got popular. It always remained kind of this pitiful little joke of a service. However, I don't really think Kick is following that same blueprint. I don't think its fate is set in stone the same way Mixer's was. I made a video about this on my second channel talking about the streaming wars. Kick is accomplishing something that Mixer never did. It's having people organically sign up and choose to stream there as a first option. I read a report the other day, take it with a grain of salt, I don't know how accurate these numbers are, but only a week ago, Kick had an influx of 1.2 million users sign up to the platform. Mixer probably never even saw 1.2 million people go to their site across the entire time it was alive. That was 1.2 million users signing up to the platform, according to the reports. So Kick is actually just getting users to go there, which is something Mixer never had happen. That was a pipe dream for that platform. Now, Kick blew up because it kind of got the reputation of like the detention class, right? Like all of the banned streamers went to Kick. Like Aiden Ross, which immediately blasted the platform off, and a lot of other like controversial streamers went to Kick after they were banned on Twitch and shit like that. And then a lot of controversial things happened, like the whole streaming of the Super Bowl and all that shit. So it really had a very bad reputation, and still does for many reasons. But it started to shake that a little bit because a lot of streamers that aren't banned on Twitch have decided to move over to Kick even without a contract, just because the sub split is so much better than the 50/50 you get on Twitch. You don't need as many viewers on Kick to make a living because you don't need as many subs to make a living. So a 95/5 split is very appealing to a lot of streamers. So there's recently been a lot of new creators there trying out the Kick space, which has led to a lot of new users on the site. So even when the big players on Kick aren't online, it's not a barren, empty wasteland. There's still quite a few users through quite a few different categories. So that, I do think, sets it apart from Mixer. I don't know if that necessarily means it's going to succeed or anything. I don't have a fucking crystal ball. I can't predict the future. But I will say that it does seem to be doing a lot better than Mixer did, even before the XQC signing. Now, I do want to... yucky. I do want to talk about something that a lot of people talk about, and I do think is a very important talking point. Kick is backed by Stake, which is a crypto gambling casino. It's why their pocketbook is so big. And obviously, a lot of people aren't too thrilled about gambling being so prominent on Kick. As of right now, so the slots and casinos category on Kick is their biggest, and it's really not even close. So that leaves a pretty bad taste in most people's mouths, mine included. I've been very outspoken about sponsored gambling not being great. You're just selling your audience on an addiction. You're trying to get them to sign up for crypto casinos and shit like that. And a lot of times they're not even using their own money, they're using house money. That is something I very much think is a load of dog shit. I think that is awful. Now, when it comes to Kick, I did extensive research on this out of curiosity because I kept hearing that Kick was mainly a front to get people addicted to stake gambling because Stake owns it. Through everything I've read, and from every stream that I've watched on Kick, there hasn't been a single stake advertisement or any gambling advertisement that I've seen, unless I've somehow missed them. And I haven't read reports from other users or any other publications that are reporting on gambling ads being run across any of the Kick categories outside of slots and casinos. The only place where gambling sponsors or Stake itself appear is in the slots category for Stake sponsors and shit like that. So I guess kind of like what Twitch used to be before the gambling ban last year, where all of the gambling ads and sponsors existed in that one category. That appears to be how it operates on Kick as of this moment. I haven't seen anything that pushes to Stake or any gambling site outside of Stake sponsored streamers in the slots and casinos category. Now, again, maybe I've missed it, maybe there just hasn't been enough information about it in articles, but as of right now, that's the impression that I've been getting. And also from what I've been reading, it seems that Stake wants to separate itself from Kick. It wants to be two very separate entities that don't really feed off of each other. They want it to be completely separate. And I guess that's what they're going for here. I don't know how successful it is as of right now. Again, no matter how you spin it, pumping gambling is just bad. Now, I do think it's always worth mentioning that Twitch isn't squeaky clean either. It's backed by Amazon. Amazon is no saint of a corporation either. Amazon isn't a company of angels and high morals. That is also a pretty evil corporation that backs Twitch. So, both of the big players in streaming, and YouTube as well, being backed by Google, Google's done so much shady shit as well. None of these corporations are exactly benevolent overlords worthy of celebration. They're all bad and evil in their own right. It's just a matter of which platform you as a user or you as a streamer feel most comfortable on, I think, at the end of the day. So I just wanted to talk about that briefly because that is something that is inevitably always going to be discussed when Kick is in the conversation. And of course, it's completely understandable why. So this whole thing has been really wild to watch unfold. I actually would have never envisioned a world where Twitch would be in the position it's in today. For the last year, the writing's been on the wall. If you go back 8 months, I made a video called Twitch is Dying, and that was kind of right on the money. Twitch has been continuously going downhill, and now all of the competitors are being elevated substantially because of it. And it's all Twitch's fault. It is entirely Twitch's fault. So it's wild to watch a business sink itself when it had a complete stranglehold on the market. Twitch was the streaming platform. Now it's becoming the joke. So, just wanted to talk about this because obviously this is the biggest content creator deal I've ever seen. I think it's probably the biggest content creator deal ever, hands down, like in general. So yeah, I definitely wanted to talk about that a little bit. That's it. See ya.